Hey, we're live. Hello, everybody. Um, we're streaming out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter from the upstairs upper gallery at the Hoboken Historical Museum in lovely Hoboken, New Jersey. This is our I don't know, what is it, our 11th episode, I think, of Hoboken Talks, and it's a series that we're running on Thursday nights live. Just to get involved in having interesting conversations with interesting people. And I'm Rand Hoppe. I'm the collections manager at the museum, and I think this is the 10th or the 11th episode. It says it up there at the top. What is it? The 10th episode, and we've had some really fun episodes. We've talked to Leah Luskatoff, the archivist at Stevens. I'm just going to name a few random ones. The ones that I've spoken to. I've spoken to Mark Singleton. We've had photographers. We've had artists. And Bob and Bill have participated as hosts. Last week we had Karen Cool. That was really fun with Jack Silbert. But let's see what's happening this week. Oh, that's right. It's me and Lois talking about literary art zines. So let's get that started. And I'm going to push this button. No, that's not the button I wanted to push. Because that's what happens when Rand does this kind of stuff.
June 1987.
Yeah.
Hoboken's magazines speak for their city.
There we are. Hi, everyone. Please say hello. Say hi. Can you hear us?
Check,
I'm hoping that you can. And that's so, Lois, what are we doing here? What's literary art zines?
Well, I mean, I've been here since 1982, and sometime shortly after then, I don't know, we were all writing, and we knew people who wrote stuff and who drew stuff, and we saw other people putting it in a more formalized fashion to share with other folks. And we said, why don't we do this? Why aren't we sharing our stuff in the same manner? And lo and behold, once the word gets out that I don't even, I know John O'Toole was a very instigating force in the first thing.
That's right.
That we're talking about. But yeah, and then we just did it for a couple of years. I don't know how long it takes.
Maybe a year or so. But we we found ourselves both in Hoboken for separately.
Correct.
And because you tell us how you ended up in Hoboken.
I had friends who were living here who I met. We both went to the same college, but he transferred out, and he'd grown up in Union City, so he had an apartment in Hoboken with his partner. And when I wanted to move to the New York area and do arty stuff, they were like, hey, come and stay with us while you're looking for a place.
Right.
And by the way, why are you looking in New York? Why don't you live in Hoboken? We love Hoboken. So I stayed on their floor or couch probably at 8th and Willow for a while. And then I saw the handwritten sign, on Garden Street, apartment, whatever, for rent, speak to super. And that was how I, you gave him $50 off the record.
Oh,
is it available? What? And then, here's $50 and it's done. No credit check, no banks, no lease.
Right.
Anyway, that's how I ended up here.
Oh, excellent. Glad to hear it. Thank you. Joking Boken on YouTube. And Roger Brooks, hello, standing by. We'll let you know what action to take later. More comments, please. Roger actually participated in some of our work here, so you're going to see some awesome Roger collages. My favorite character, Dr. Purina. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you on Facebook. John Figueroa, fantastic. Good to see you, man.
Woo.
All right. So Roger can see and hear us. So that's great. Okay. So just because a lot of, when I do these things, I'm usually not on camera. I'm like the producer guy, director, tech guy, and I've got the earbuds in and I'm making sure that everything sounds right. But when I do that and I'm on camera,
You have too many hats.
Too many hats, and I whatever it is, how I do it, I don't get to hear what's going out. So I'm just glad that what's going out. And
Thank you for the feedback.
We do have a plexiglass. So,
that's why the masks are.
The masks are here, and we do have some plexiglass hanging. So.
And how did you come to live here in this lovely town?
I also wanted to come to New York to do arty things. So we were in league. We went to the same university. We were friends. We worked on the College Humor magazine. You and Martha and Jane were kind of like the masters of the College Humor magazine. And I was like, well, I can draw. You guys need some help with a guy who can draw, but you all made that all happen. And somehow, my sister was living in Hoboken, and how Glenda ended up in Hoboken is a whole story. But she was like, I have an apartment. If you want to come to Hoboken after graduation, I'll not look for a roommate for a few months, and you can come. And so that's what I did, and really liked it a lot. And then found that you guys were like a block away around the corner.
Crazy.
Just absolutely
totally random.
Totally random.
Random.
Yeah.
Random.
So we started socializing even more, becoming more than just, I was like the drawing guy, but then we became really good friends and started spending a lot of time hanging out and everything. So
too bad it never lasted, our friendship.
I know, like really. But we we were just hanging. We were going to the city a lot. I was really into the comics, and Martha was into the comedy, and it was just. Then our pal, I met John O'Toole at my job, and our pal John was like he was from Lodi, but he would come to Maxwell's, or knew of Maxwell's, and Maxwell's is a very exciting place for him. But we didn't go to Maxwell's. We had no money, and we're very, very limited. Like I admit it. I'd have rather bought a cool comic than go to Maxwell's at the time in 1982. So, so we weren't in Hoboken for like the music scene of Maxwell's. It was more like arty stuff in New York City, right?
Yes.
Like that. So that's what that was. There were great comic shops and magazine stores and all kinds of things going on.
With lots of independently produced fanzines, lo-fi, Xerox.
Right.
So, inspirational. Why can't we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
So, yeah. So what... I guess. I do have these copies of these things, and I don't have them to present. But in let's see, there is a date, 1983. So we showed up in 82, and in 83, we decided that we would put together a one-sheeter, cut up comedy shenanigans thing called the Broken Glass, and we ended up I don't know how many we made copies of. Again, not a lot of money. The jokes are mostly about how poor we were.
But whoever had the office job would run copies late at night after the temp. You're a temp.
Yep.
And anyway, I'm sure I never did that. But someone did.
Somebody did. We had these temp jobs.
But
maybe even I did it.
If you went to Fifth and Washington, where the smoke shop and the newsstand, when it was more newsstandy, we simply abandoned them where magazines and newspapers were sold.
Right.
So you would go to get your daily news or your Jersey Journal and then say, "Oh, look at this Broken Glass.
Look at
What's
this thing.
that?
What's going on?" And it's like, what? What am I reading?
It's foul. It's quite foul.
And we did put them in peer platters.
Okay, sure.
I'll say that. I think that if you were to ask me, I would say they were in peer platters and Maxwell's, and that was it. But there was some pirate put in the news, put in the newsstand. and we had a lot of laughs. We have a Mr. Bitch, which was the takeoff on Mr. Snitch, which was in the Hoboken Pictorial at the time.
Right. Which was shh. Who did you hear about? Which
it was all the
person,
blind
blah,
items.
blah, blah.
Yeah, in the pictorial there was all the blind
Snitch.
items, gossip, Hoboken scuttlebutt. So we had a lot of fun. We made 2 issues. That was the end of that. And then I don't know. We started spending. We actually did start going to Maxwell's.
Absolutely.
I definitely. I remember one thing that happened was going when I moved out of my sister's apartment.
Yes.
And that was 1984. And our friend Andrew, who really wasn't my friend until we became roommates, but he also was part of the school that we went to. So we got the apartment at 1105 Washington, and it was like 2 buildings away. There was one building in between our apartment and Maxwell's. So it's like, and we were on the 5th floor. I was like, invite people to climb up the 5th floor and hang out in our apartment, or just go to Maxwell's. So that's when Maxwell's became my local. And it stayed my local practically the whole time. I kind of don't really remember going there much when there was the brewery thing going on. But it was the place where if I wanted to have a beer, and I would go to Maxwell's. Sometimes I would see bands.
Yeah, me too.
A lot. But we got to know a lot of people at Maxwell's. They had people from Kentucky.
Yes.
From Louisville, which I learned to pronounce because they were
Louisville. Don't be that guy.
Don't be Louisville. Nope. Don't be that Louisville guy.
Nope. Well, and that's the thing about, the thing was, my experience was that in the 80s, if you were not born and bred, the circle of people who lived here was, to my experience, so small that you either knew everybody or you're 1 or 2 people removed from everybody.
No, that's right.
And a lot of people were writing and drawing and playing music and acting and photographers.
Yep.
And there were kind of little pods.
Yep.
And then they would intersect in different ways, and you would go to this party or this opening.
Correct.
And you would meet this pod through this person, and there was kind of separately operating little pods that would intersect.
Yes.
So,
and there were parties. There were definitely parties, and we would get invited to the parties and be like, who are these people?
And we would invite people to
absolutely,
our parties,
yes,
or your
of course.
parties, or
and it was like, let's go to that party over on Madison.
Right.
Like, what's going on over there?
And it wasn't even an invite. It was just like,
you hear about
there's a party.
That's right.
And you went, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And on that note, I just need to share. In those days, oh my God, I'm that person. In those days.
Tell me more.
Rock bands would play in a backyard and nobody cared. So at 10, 11 o'clock at night on a Friday or Saturday, there is a electric band in a backyard behind an apartment building, not a private house.
Right.
Playing.
That's right.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
So that of course can never happen now.
No, that's right.
Let's try it. Let's do a retro, wouldn't that be funny to just do a retro?
It would. Hey, Jack, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Jack. So that I like to think about those intersections of the pods.
The pods or the little collectives.
And the little collectives.
We
overlap. And that's the Louisville crowd as a pod.
Right. That's right. They were.
Yeah.
We were the Colgate crowd.
Yeah.
But and for the born and raised, we were those freaks who slept on the floor. Right. The artists. What do they do? They sleep on the floor. That was. But we did. I know I did. I had a mattress on the floor. But anyhow, that was a thing. I guess we just started going to Maxwell's. It expanded a little. I actually worked the door for like 2 years in the back door, and I think that's when it kind of happened that we were like, suddenly it was like, let's have a magazine.
You realize that all these people you had met were creators of content.
That's
they
right.
Were artists,
and wasn't just about music. That the musicians were painting, the artists were around. So it's like John. It even says here that it was John's idea. So it was John's idea, and he's working tonight, or he'd be joining us.
Here.
He'd be a little. Yeah. We'd have him in as a little like welcome window kind of thing, but. So we had this idea that we were gonna put out a magazine, and surprisingly we did.
Yes, a very high production values. It was I don't know who was even driving. Was it one of those things where like people keep jumping into the driver's seat and then it would flounder for a week or a month, and then somebody would be like, no, we're doing it this way.
It did, but I think the big thing was that Donna Cron was working as a paste-up artist at a magazine place.
Wow.
In Rutherford, somewhere you take the bus up to, and Jerry Fallow was her boss.
I do not remember that connection.
And that was when Donna was part of our adventure, and Jerry was like, "What? You guys I'm doing a magazine," and Jerry helped us. Jerry's job printed this up for us.
I remember now.
That's
yes,
right.
Thank you.
Was very, very nice.
Fabulous.
So, So we had meetings on the rooftop, and we were like, I'm paying for storage unit, and I've got a box full of stuff, but there were meetings, there were people. We were trying to make.
We got ourselves a PO box. We got
a PO box. That's right.
People have to be able to contact us.
And a rubber stamp.
A rubber stamp. We know what we are pros. We're publishing. We're publishing magnates.
All right, let's take a look at this magazine that 24 pages, I think it is, and I'm going to do that.
24 pages.
Yeah. So then I'm going to, and then we'll, I guess we'll go over like this. So we're still on screen. We're over on the side there. So here's our cover, and this was spring '87. Number 0, words, pictures, facts and fiction, and Steve Saporito and John O'Toole and Charlie Charis were really into the fall, and with good reason. The fall is great, so we were like, we could have an interview with Marky Smith,
real celebrities.
So we made that happen, and that was pretty cool. This is our inside front cover, color reproductions of paintings, I believe by Retep. There is
and Conte.
What?
And Conte. I don't think they're the same artist.
They're not the same artist.
No.
Not mentioned anywhere else in the magazine. But we got nice color photos of their artwork and put them, because the idea was that the color was going to be the cover, and that everything else was going to be black and white.
Right.
But that didn't happen, because we ended up having color on page 3.
On the table of contents.
On the table of contents with the masthead, and there's art. The masthead
is a painting by Kevin Cron.
Art, Lauren Da Silva. Reviews, correspondence, Lois Dilivio.
Was it a mistake that the back cover was supposed to be in color?
I believe so. I believe it was supposed to be, the back cover was color, and this was supposed to be black and white. Jerry Fallow, Randy Hoppe, back when I was Randy. And John O'Toole, Steve Saporito. Thanks to Mike Weinert, Aaron Hartford, Steve Fallon, Andrew Etty, Kevin McAvoy, Kevin O'Connell, Martha Griffin, Steve Gray, Jack Farina, Jeremy Brozovsky, Bob Melisano, Midge Kislin, Dan Zielinski, and Laurie S. Mike Weinert, the designer of the logo.
A Louisville fellow.
Yes, and Kevin's painting. So, yep, there it is, 86, 87, something like that. And let's just keep kind of like looking through. Oh, so here we go. Our hilarious piece of a conversation with Bill Wynant, who is a faux screenwriter, I believe.
Writer, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Writer.
writer. Yeah, but
Writer.
it's a yeah, it's
Right, that's right. So because yeah, and that is Martha.
A mockumentary
Yes.
kind of approach.
Yes.
And Martha in as a drag king in drag
Drag
way
king. Always a
way
favorite.
before it was hip. In drag as a man,
Yep.
Bill.
And there's the pull quote. 5 minutes into the movie, I start yelling, "What the hell is this? This isn't my book." I couldn't believe what Spielberg had done.
Very fun.
It's a really fun. We have some cartoons with Annette from Bill Frank, I think a friend of Lauren De Silva's. I have a piece by Doug Maxson.
Doug Maxson was from the Louisville crowd,
Yep.
and the band at the time was Your Food with
Yes.
Wolf Knapp on bass. And of course, the Louisville crowd also includes, Tara
Yeah.
and Tim, Antietam, and
Antietam.
Babylon
Yep.
Dance Band, and
Yep.
Circle X, which
Circle
I played
X.
with for a while.
Yes.
And I don't know if Rick is watching. And
Say hello, Rick, if you are.
hello, Rick. and Hal Dolls is a recent band that Doug was in. I tried to desperately to contact him to let him know to tune in for this, but I failed.
Well, we'll be doing this, and then it'll be on YouTube until it isn't. So
But just a great writer and painter.
yes,
Doug Maxson.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Some photos from AFE, a poem by Andrew Gettler. I think we put an ad in the Village Voice.
In the Village Voice.
Yes.
Send
Or
us
maybe
your poems.
New York Press, maybe?
Yeah, whichever was free.
I couldn't find the ad in my archives, but
We are a magazine. Send us your poems.
Yes, send us your stuff.
Because I remember going through submissions.
Right. And I have envelopes, like to the Gravy Train or to OIC. It's like there was
one poet that I was really taken with, not Robert Small, somebody else who just, I don't remember his name. And probably there was one that I was like, no, we have to put this guy in. This poetry is beautiful. So, oh man.
More poetry. Andrew Gettler. Photo by Jerry Fallow.
Jerry Fallow.
There's Kevin in his chair. We have some ads from Water Music and Pure Platters. I think we put them in because we felt the need to have ads. I really don't think there was any financial support really was offered, but
I don't know.
One thing that was cool was that Kevin O'Connell did the Pure Platters ad, and Kevin was a friend of Naomi Pitcairn's.
Okay.
He is a sign painter to this day. He painted. If you go to Davis Stationery,
okay,
on the 700 block of Washington Street,
yes,
and on your way in,
600.
look at the little painting.
600 block.
You're correct.
Okay,
600 block, and you see where it says Davis Stationery painted. Kevin painted that. He painted a few other things around town, but that's, as far as I know, that's the one that's extant.
Wild.
And then we have our feature interview with Mark E. Smith with photos by Charlie Charis. This is the center spread of the magazine.
Let's just take a moment and just acknowledge the ginormous rock and roll archive owned and managed by Charlie Charis.
It's got a lot of photos.
It's redonkulous. It could be a museum all by itself.
It could.
You could transform this place
into the Charlie Charis Rock and Roll Museum
just for like a month or two.
And so photos. Oh, photos by Charlie and Steve. So that's fun. And then we move on, and we've got a photo and some poems by Mark Ludington and Lucy O'Brien. Mark has passed away. They were definitely pals at Maxwell's that got to know sitting at the bar.
This is words by Kate Dunn, who was a partner to Doug Maxson, still is,
right,
to my knowledge, and illustrations and artwork by Donna Cron.
Yep,
amazing artist.
So, yeah, pretty fun. Yeah, this was a favorite. The review spread, very very random, randoms. Reviews, an Elvis Presley re-release, the Raging Slab demo from Laurie S. Kevin Duggan talking about films Charis. I really liked Mike Weinert's review of Beaver Lager. I thought that was nice. In amongst all these reviews, there was a beer, and then there's your review of a.
Is it real or is it a joke? Circumcision, a social speculation by Lee Mettenborough, Po Coupe Press, which, if you know French, means cut skin, I believe.
Excellent.
Oh, the humor is fabulous. Oh man!
And these great Aesop's New Fables for City Life with really
just
nice,
beautiful design, beautiful art direction, and illustrations.
Yeah. Nice drawings by Lucy O'Brien.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that was fun. My lettering.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's the comics page. Jim Ryan, Palookaville.
Jim Ryan. Thank you, Jim Ryan.
Yeah. And
he was like a star. It was like, do you think Jim Ryan will? I mean, this was the thing about the pods interacting. As an older woman, my take on it is that every pod is like, we're not cool enough to be with that pod. Like, I don't know. I know that I wasn't cool enough to be with that pod. And then later on, when you actually have an actual conversation with somebody from another pod, they sometimes will say they have the same experience.
That's right.
So Jim Ryan was like, well, he's a superstar. I don't think he won't be in our little sad, little pathetic, that was my memory of, we scored Jim Ryan. He's going to, that was a score. So anyway.
I think, he had done so many great cartoons, I guess, in the Reporter or the Pictorial, or there was some local action going
published. He was like, there was stuff in the real world.
There was a collection.
He was getting paid by somebody.
That's right. No, there was a collection that was published called On the Jersey Side, I believe. He was in The Voice. He had full page strips in The Voice that were like a tour de force. Really, really good. And then I think this Palookaville, I think, was something that he was looking to get syndicated as a daily strip, and it did, but then it didn't go on. So because it's hard,
a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah,
and the bottom is my and my roommate Andrew's The Iconoclast, which is something that I'll always love. And then the Exquisite Corpse, which is a fun thing. There's I don't know, the surrealists do it, or the Dadaist or something. Sounds
right.
I
used to really know that stuff. And
yeah, me too.
About it.
But I don't remember. You kind of take. Burroughs, didn't Burroughs do something? No, he did cut-ups. That's right. So we would. So the idea was to have some text that someone would write a few paragraphs. You would take the last paragraph and give that to somebody, and then ask them to continue from there on, and then give the last paragraph of that to somebody. So I forget who's participated in this. I think it's John O'Toole, Lois Dilivio, and Lauren Da Silva were the writers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot that.
And there you are.
Even when I was preparing and looking, I forgot that. But I am also very pleased and intrigued and that the actual name Exquisite Corpse is an exquisite corpse.
That's right.
So that's
And
a lovely choice, I think.
and the illustrations in the background, I remember having people over to my apartment, to Andrew's in my apartment, and it was really fun because it was like Mark Mazout, who was he was a fellow doorman at Maxwell's, who went to RISD, Rhode Island School of Design, and Mark Badger came, and because he lived a block away, and he's like a great artist and comic book guy, good friend of mine.
A lot of Dark Horse content.
Yeah, and he drew Batman. He did Batman stories. Redesigned the Martian Manhunter. Oh, but the fun thing is that he brought some comic book guys. So he brought Art Nichols and Tony Salmons, and that was fun. That we just hung out and like two very different guys, but like it's interesting that they did have comic book careers, and that they actually appeared in this thing. So and in the upper right hand corner you see that little character there. That is the result of that is a corpse drawing that was then given to Mark, and then Mark did a drawing of that character. So It was kind of like,
it's too much. I can't follow it. Too many breadcrumbs.
Yeah. So the drawings were like, you draw a head and then you draw the neck, and then you fold the paper over, and it's like, okay, now you get to draw the shoulders, and then on the arms and the elbows, and then you leave little spots, and then you fold the paper again so that people don't see what you've drawn. Yes. And then you unfold it, and it's hilarious, and we'll see a little bit more about that in a moment, because I made a mini comic out of it, or a mini chapbook out of those drawings that we did that night. These are just that was fun. So then we have this cool Halloween shot by Lauren.
Gorgeous.
Would you like to take us away?
Listen, I when Rand asked about, what do you think? Should we do a Hoboken Talks on this topic? And I dug all this stuff out of my wherever I had it. And this is I just love this poem so much. I said, can I please read this poem? And I don't know who Robert Smalls is. If anybody knows, please go in the chat. There's a vague sense that he might have come through the Louisville connection, or I don't know if it was a random stranger. It's definitely not the random stranger I was thinking about. Anyway, also very briefly, who doesn't love poetry? If I'm just going to try to be polite about it. Who doesn't love poetry? Come on. So the thing is, I think this might be one of those poems that's better read, better between the person and the content, and you read it and it's internal. So, but it's so beautiful. I'm just going to read it out loud, which I think is maybe not its best place, but I can't take it. Okay. Untitled by Robert Smalls. Don't cry now, baby. Don't cry. She's happy in good horse heaven. Gods comb and feed her oats and sweet clover, and she has a run twice as big as ours. Flower pot feeder and a Belknap water can were hers last Wednesday, but now she's gone. When I round that corner, I still expect to see her, the queen of the county. That's what she was. I found her in a hollow when I crawled off King's Mountain, tangled up in a bush that she'd uprooted. Now that I think about it, I feel like some lightning about to explode and tear things to pieces. Robert Smalls, thank you.
Untitled. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rand. That was so much fun.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
All righty.
And this is our inside back cover in color. The first 3 or 4 single albums from Coyote Records, I think. I think the first might have been the Luxury Condos. But then this was like, kind of a big deal, and it was very nice that we put that in there. Feelies, Yola Tango, and Gut Bang. It was great. Jack did a great job with Karen last week, so it all feels like old home
Overlap connection.
Overlap connection, yeah. So and there's our back cover, which you would think would have been in color, but it wasn't. So I'm just gonna briefly go back to this. So that's whatever we went through. I think there was
how many copies? What was the print run?
Oh God, 500. Gate sale. We had a gate sale to raise money. I think really at the end of it, I think Jerry really
took a bath.
Took a bath, or really was just like, no, don't you don't have to pay.
Jerry, are you listening?
No, Jerry. I told her about it, but I don't think she's able to do the.
Did anybody pay $2 that you know?
So that was one of the things that Lauren mentioned on Facebook today.
Okay.
Was that she and Steve Saporito drove to Philadelphia and dropped magazines off at shops in Philadelphia.
Incredible.
And it was, of course, on consignment. So like, yes, we've dropped $10 off, 10 books off at Stop and Mag. And then we'll see you, we'll be back to see and work,
And you'll keep track when you sell one.
We didn't go back. It very, I don't know, it spiraled out and died. But one thing we did happen was that seems like there were a few things going on in Hoboken. And
are you saying we weren't the only people?
We were not. There were pods. So let's see if I can bring this thing up. Right. So in the Hoboken Reporter in June of 1987, we were not the lead story, and I think there were 3 that were mentioned.
Okay.
Ailanthus being one of them.
Yep. And Botanica.
Ferrobotanica?
Yep.
Really?
They were too hip. I can't be their friend. I can't say hello on the street.
No.
Oh, that's a Ferrobotanica.
Ferrobotanica people.
They're too hip.
But they did take. I remember talking to the reporter, and he took our pic. We all were hanging out at Maxwell's. This is us in front of the sewage treatment buildings on the island of 11th Street. Yep. So that's me and Kevin Cron and Lois Dilivio, Jim Ryan, Jerry Fallow, Charlie Charis, Lauren De Silva, Billy Charis, and John O'Toole. So wait,
only OIC got the picture?
I don't think so. I think there might have been a picture somewhere else.
But I mean, is everybody in the picture? Is that the OIC magazine people, or were they like
That's
everybody
the OIC
who's in
magazine people?
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just a coordination thing and timing or whatnot.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah. So that was that we were in the midweek edition of the Hoboken Reporter.
Well, yeah, that's right. Midweek edition.
And Roger is in Philly, so he's going to look for the issues to see if they've sold. Thanks, Raj.
Raj, will you collect any money that is due accounts payable?
So then, I mean, I don't know what the timing was at all, but we did this. We had to calm down.
4 to 6 months from conception to publication.
Right.
And way not too fast. This should have been done in 2 months.
Yeah.
When you're 23 years old or whatever it is. So.
And it was I felt like it was such a big deal, but then we couldn't keep it going, so it was whatever it was. We were too young, too disorganized, too interested in other things that it wasn't, it wasn't really something that could keep going. I think it might have been we're trying to raise $1,800. And then Jerry was kind of like, here you go. You don't have to. Or maybe she split it. I don't remember, but it was we were going to raise $1,800 to get to print another issue.
Would that be $6,000 in today's money?
Yeah, forget it. So that didn't happen. But what did? Well, no, actually, let me just move briefly to the really fun mini comic. I know what kind of like, where are we time wise?
We have no time left, basically.
We have 20 minutes. Holy crap. Okay. So I'll go quickly through these drawings. So this is the drawing that Mark did of the cover. That was a corpse drawing, but then he made a drawing of it. Here's all the listing of all the people. And so here's all these really cool corpse drawings that we did. And I made, like I said, I made a little mini comic out of it. And you can see how generally there's 3 sections, a head that stops at the neck down at the torso, and then the feet. And, they're just, very, very entertaining, fun, creative. If you've done art classes or cartooning classes, exquisite corpses are a fun little exercise that can kind of spark creativity and fun amongst the group.
Yeah, because you're kind of circumventing your left brain or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always liked Granny's goiter, rub it for luck. I think that's Mark Mizzou. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just fun.
Radiohead.
Yep. And just go through them. It was Ron on TV. Oop. And that's the corpse drawing that Mark did a drawing of, right? So whatever. It just was an interesting little piece of fun there. But then what happened?
I have no idea. We have more stuff. We want to do something, but we can't sustain the high production values and expense and blah blah blah.
Right. Like, yes, exactly. And you're working in office. People are working in offices, and there's Xerox machines, and there are places that you can go to have Xeroxes made. So so we just kind of moved into
DIY.
We went DIY, exactly, and that was really fun because there was a whole DIY thing going on too, like around the country. There was a magazine called Fact Sheet 5, which was like a compendium catalog of all these like things that people were doing around the country with listings and mailboxes, and you could get it if you got a good review, and not only could you get a nice they might put you in, but they might get a nice comment, and again you'd go
and
to
you subscribe to it or you buy it, or
I think you subscribe to it, but you could get it at the indie magazine places.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And it was like, oh, if we really work hard, we get ourselves listed in Fact Sheet 5, then we're on the map.
We get ourselves in Fact Sheet 5, and they said something nice.
Right.
Instead of don't waste your time, but if you want to give them $1, so Mike Gunderloy was the guy who was running Fact Sheet 5. Yeah, it just came out.
How many pages?
It was a magazine.
A magazine.
Pulp paper, saddle stitched.
And you would go into a small independent bookstore or comic book store and you would buy it, or there was a giveaway?
No, you would buy it.
And it's like 4 times a year or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fact Sheet 5.
Pre-internet stuff. Like people were doing bulletin boards that you could dial into at the time.
And you're like, oh my God, there's a whole fanzine about Iggy Pop. I need this.
I need to get that Iggy Pop fanzine from those people in Arizona.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Holy cow. Fact Sheet 5.
So Fact Sheet 5.
God bless Bob Gunderley.
Mike Gunderloy.
Mike Gunderloy.
Yeah.
Where are you, Mike? Thank you for doing Fact Sheet 5.
I think he's in upstate New York. Don't ask me which section of upstate.
Mike Gunderloy.
Yeah. And then he handed it off to somebody else, and then kind of the internet took off, and then it died.
Yeah.
But we did Pink Buddies and Lollipops next, And that was, Lois, you and I are like the masterminds here.
How did that happen?
As signed on the page.
Correct.
And the thing about it was that it was very much like unedited.
Correct.
Right? So it was like, we like you, give us 2 pages. And that was it. You gave us 2 pages.
By this date.
By this date. Give us 2 pages by this date.
Right.
And
we're going to leave the last page blank so we can have fun and sit around and just fill them in with crayons and magic markers.
Yeah, we would have stapling parties, collation parties, and basically leave a page for remarking.
Yes.
Or customization.
Yes.
So let's see if I can. Let's just like chug through this thing. I know we have 15 minutes, but so here's Pink Bunnies and Lollipops, poetry, Mark Luddington. Here's table of contents, my hand lettering, hilarious comments. Here's some collage stuff. Cool art by Billy Charis, Vasilis. Life on Cow Island, Roger. Remember?
It was not good.
That is my first Vel comic. This is a really, really fun. This is also the thing where people would give us pages and they wouldn't necessarily put their name on the page. So the table of contents was the only way to know who did a page. So we're just going to keep moving on.
Correct.
It's a rare comic page by Kevin Cron.
And Ian was a real person.
That's right.
Yep. He was a hell of a Hoosier. Hell of a happy Hoosier.
Paul Balderas, hilarious, play in one act, titled Butts.
And they speak to each other, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Another one of my Vel pages. Vel and Spats. Dream number 87. I don't know. Dave McKenzie, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, got a double page there. I think this is more Vasilis. Yep, Billy Charis.
No, it's just somebody who chose to be landscape instead of portrait.
Oh, that's right, of course.
And then that's how it lands.
Yep. Mark Luddington. The Question Lady. Lois Dilivio.
Move on. This has to be another Roger Brooks.
Roger Brooks, fantastic. Your Science Project.
Gorgeous.
And here's 5440. By an interview by Dave McKenzie.
Yeah.
Another poem.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's Claudia Cohn. Fantastic. Science by Roger Brooks. Here's a lovely comic page drawn by Jane Scarpantoni, and then I inked it.
Oh, I didn't realize
this is my inking.
Artist inker combo.
Yes.
The fabulous rock star cellist Jane Scarpantoni.
That's right.
Also a beautiful artist.
Yes.
Visual artist.
Yep. Really fun. We have FOMO by Dr. Jomsky. What else? So a page by John O'Toole. Poem by Mark Luddington.
The Wound, Bruce Whitseep, Babylon Dance Band, Circle X, Louisville, like redonkulous.
Fantastic.
Just redonkulous. I don't know. Anyway, just very moving and,
cool.
Very, very sensitive. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah.
Baldly drawn comics. Martha Keaveney. She asked me to draw Baldy.
I forgot there was a collaboration.
It was, and I had to put him, since he was bald, I had to put him in a Charlie Brown shirt.
He's very angry at the end.
He's angry at the end. Yeah, there's nothing, all kinds of trouble.
I do not remember who Mark DeWeaver is. God help me. I think I knew him at the time. It's a little foggy, but TV review. All right.
There's Lauren. Lauren likes the horse poem as well.
Oh, it was gorgeous, wasn't it?
Really nice.
It was one of her, and you got to have your beautiful picture right above it. Like Robert Smalls, the mystery must be revealed.
Yeah. I don't know. More badly drawn comics. The Well, another piece by Bruce.
Yep. Who has artwork in the Museum of Modern Art or the Metropolitan? I believe in the Metropolitan, the permanent collection of the Metropolitan.
John O'Toole piece. I don't know. Things are getting a little wacky here with my and there's the inside back cover, right? So that's different for every issue.
Correct.
Every physical object would have a different thing, and then the back cover was something that I pulled together. OIC Press touch programming.
That's some fancy retouching before the
yeah,
with very analog retouching going on there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it was fun, and it was kind of it was easier in order to like not be an editor. You know, it was more like fun just to be like a collator. You know, and
yes.
be friendly kind of thing.
Yes.
And,
yeah, because it was you were pre-approved. There was going to be no like change this word or make this bigger, like none of that nonsense.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's just keep chugging. We'll just keep. There's the Gravy Train with this fantastic cover by Kevin.
Look at the motion.
Yeah, really good. So bold. So the thing was too that you know, color Xerox.
Color Xerox.
Right?
Yeah.
And color Xerox was expensive.
Yeah.
But the interiors weren't necessarily that expensive. Let me get it up on the screen. So the this one has had a hole punch. We had a hole punch.
Oh, because the artwork on the inside cover had
was
punches.
The remark
right,
was where the customization was. So again with my
beautiful hand lettered
table of contents.
Yeah.
Oh, a fantastic Jack Chick Gravy Train reference of some sort. Yeah. Okay. So
they're numbered. I have 23 out of 200. What do you have there?
108 out of 200.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, we reprinted the Boken glass.
Yeah, that's fun.
Ed Harbison.
Harbison.
Our child artist.
Yes. Kate
Dunn, right? Yeah.
Kate Dunn, Louisville.
Ricky Lives. Vasilis.
Here's where Ricky threw the knife in the water the day after he killed Gary.
Yeah. More Scorb. I'm on fire here. I guess this is John O'Toole. Yeah. I think. Yep. Paul Balderas. Oh, there's my ode to my going to my grandparents' house. That was fun. It was hanging on my grandma's wall as a gift. Yeah, I gave it to her. Framed it up, had it framed, and yeah, it was nice. More Ed Harbison.
Yeah. That's Doug Maxson.
It's the Traps. Dr. Purina. Badly drawn comics. Hilarious. You freeze frame these things and read them if you can. It might be worth it. Especially these. These are really funny. But it's worthwhile looking at. Mark Wellington. Oh my gosh. There's Lois. What are you up to? Stay in motion. Poem Rand. Vasilis. Jim Fu. Awesome. Jim Fu is a great collage artist.
Dry sense of humor, boy. So dry.
Yeah.
You don't even know it was funny till a day later.
That's right. John O'Toole. More badly drawn from Martha. Some more entertaining Scorb. The alternate form of the periodic table. Rhythm. Lois Dilivio.
Oh, I like that. I was
like
proud
this one?
of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
that came out good.
Baby Jessica, alive. Oh boy. Mark and Lucy. John O'Toole stuff. Martha Keaveney doing kind of a spread of possibilities of story. I think choose your adventure joke.
Yep,
of some
exactly.
sort. Yeah.
At a party, you meet somebody. Here's what can happen.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shane Wagner, ladies and gentlemen. My friend Ken, who was working at Corporate Financing Week. So give me some content, Ken. And he did, which was fun. Prubesh cut 16 investment bankers after performance review. Well, okay. Tell us more. Lester Bangs from Brent Shearer.
Oh, lovely.
What's this interview?
Interview with a guy who said he was a
Langford.
vampire. Yep.
Yeah. More Velen Spats from me. Oh, this is really funny. Doug Maxson, ladies and gentlemen.
Multi-talented.
Yeah. More Corporate Finance Week. Goldman and Salomon to restructure the Southland deal again.
Ivan.
Oh, yeah. Toronto's first unusual day. That's Ivan. Ivan Nahum, everybody. Here's this great Lucy O'Brien drawing. Incredible.
Gorgeous. Incredible.
Oh, things are a little out of order. My mistake. And there's this great collage by Jim Fu, which he submitted that, and it was like, yep, that's the back cover. How are we doing? Well, we've got 4 minutes.
Oh, man.
Do we keep chugging? Why not?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we can do.
There's Mommy May I and Vanity. We're going to blow through Mommy May I.
Let's go. So, Mommy May I? So we knew what the title was. Asked Mark Badger to do the art, and this was what he came back with.
Can I press the button? This felt very radical and scandalous, and should we even do it? Right? Like it's disrespectful to the. At the time, it felt a little edgy. It felt very edgy to be that kind of, the president wants to press the button.
Oh, wow, that's funny. So, inside front cover. That looks like my work. Number 122 of 200. So the idea was, I guess at some point we did get there were jobs at offices, and the black and white stuff would be copied surreptitiously, but we still had to go and get the color copies where we would pay, where we would pay for them. So that was a challenge.
Somewhere in the East Village. Do you have any? Do you remember how much it cost?
No.
To make 200 color, 400 color copies.
No, it was
200.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
It's like $1 a pop or something.
Yeah, it was.
It was a lot.
Yes, it was.
So then just, more fun. Ruben Ruenis.
Futon shop.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Broadway and Broome, and upstairs lived Lisa Bonet and
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz, and Alec Baldwin came in with Blondie.
Basinger,
when they were first dating, they made out, and we sold cotton sheets, and it was radical. You don't even need to be organic. Oh my God, it's all cotton.
All cotton.
And we made futons. Nancy Wykstra.
Yep.
Real estate agent.
Yep.
Hoboken.
Yep.
And a nice collection of freaks. It was a delightful place to work.
Too much Ella Fitzgerald, though.
Too much.
Too much.
I burned out on Ella Fitzgerald.
So what to do if your head is up your ass? Okay. More art. I'm sorry. Pyramid Boy, Billy Cote. I think they were Cote brothers. Screw Under Scrutiny.
Funny. The futon shop was where I met Louisville people before I met them through Hoboken.
What?
Yeah, very weird, funny, fun, small
poems,
stuff.
art, drawings.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, who did that?
Nick Busey, ladies and gentlemen.
Shane Wagner did the drawing. Nick Busey. Scary.
So Nick was one of the couple that you came when you came to Hoboken. He was one of the couple.
Correct. When I lived at 8th and Willow with lovely people.
Yeah. So just keep going. I'm going to go through.
Okay.
There's a really fun collage. Vasilis Subtle disguise. Oh man, lots of duplications. What's wrong with me? The Chris Ward's pig. I remember the Chris Ward's pig. I'm so sorry about
Beautiful.
that. Yeah.
Oh, something really important is coming up soon.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, Mother with No Arms.
Heartbreaking.
Come on, how beautiful is that?
Yeah.
This child and the mother has no arms.
Right.
It's just gorgeous. Thank you to...
What is it?
Joanne Trangle. Who are you and how did you come into... Was this maybe a submission from a stranger?
It may have been.
I mean, and who did you know in the circle or who knows? Gorgeous. Mother with No Arms.
Yeah, Joanne Trangle.
Rejection is fabulous, but Mother with No Arms is incredible.
I did find some envelopes mailed to the Gravy Train. So that we may have had like a send in your fantastic stuff. Yeah, that's a really good one.
More Bruce.
More badly drawn comics. John O'Toole.
More Jane Scarpintoni.
Yeah. And John O'Toole. I can't even draw a paper bag. See, looks good to me. Lois.
A Roy Zen Cone.
Oh boy,
that's real funny. You get it? A Roy Zen Cone.
Clever. The Hotel Victor. Ken French. Oops. Yeah. Duplications, man.
Lovely. Oh, another Jane Scarpintoni. More Kate Dunn.
Yeah. That's a fun Vasilis there. February 88. Nice.
A lot of elbow grease, a lot of work, and phone calls and missing people on the phone.
Right. Yeah. Gosh, I got an answering machine. Now, this is my drawing here for this piece, but I think this is an Exquisite Corpse.
It is. It looks like there's two or three pages of
And then more Doug Maxson. Here's
Woof.
Pet Chat with Dr. Joseph Pet.
Just gorgeous.
Hilarious Martha Pet things. I was given a wonderful dog as a birthday present. It's as intelligent as any human being and already does many tricks. However, it insists on walking upright. Is this common? Dear Wondering, this is another deplorable example of dishonest pet shop practices. Your dog is a human being. Please communicate with it and straighten things out. He or she can't be enjoying a steady diet of Alpo. There's another great Roger Brooks, I think. So checklist from Mark Ludington. All right. It's 102. We have just the shortest period of time, and we're going to do it because we do go a little bit late. This was the last one called Vanity. And the thing about it was that it got really expensive to print those color Xeroxes. So I made some art and I put 6 of them to a page and we cut them out and stuck them on the black and white Xeroxes.
I forgot that was the reason.
That was it.
That's also a lot of elbow grease,
That's right.
They all get the handmade love then that way.
And, kind of an evocation of the OIC logo at the top. And, Vanity. So again, this is a remark, a customized piece, probably different in every issue.
That's me. That's my handwriting.
6. Oh, really? That's you?
Flat 2, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. 6 contributors.
For better or worse, it's getting a little insular there. It's boiling down to the elemental.
It shrunk. Vasilis, Scorb, got a nice
but
spread.
It happened. Beautiful. Yeah. Dr. Purina.
Yep. Martha got like a few page story, which I think might have been the first. Another great Scorb collage. Oh, it's Barney's Dream.
Barney's Dream, inspired by the Bloomfield Laundrette, which went out of business a few years ago.
And I even drew the Bloomfield Laundrette.
Beautiful. A beautiful drawing. Yeah.
He was so happy to make that sign. Free coffee to our customers. there's Ed or Mr. Brooks.
Gorgeous.
There's me doing some weird Elvis Captain Marvel thing. Martha. I think that's it. That's it.
Vanity.
Vanity. Yeah. Does it have a date? No. No dates.
It's all disposable.
That was our adventure. Putting these, some of them would always get tagged for Maxwell's
Sure.
and Pier Platters.
Sure.
And probably see here in the city, maybe somewhere else in the city that I can't think of.
Because they're so long gone that
Yeah.
the place in my brain that remembers the location or name has
Right.
not been accessed in so long
Right.
and not needed to. Yeah.
No.
No, they, and I mean, contributors got 10 copies each or something and did whatever they wanted
what does Dave have to say? Oh, there we go. Yep. So that was, they were on the table near the front door at Maxwell's. There was a lot, I'm definitely put there, but I think the color covers made them really move. They weren't there for long. It's like, what? 24 pages and color on the cover? Thanks, Dave. So that was, just a little bit of a tour through our adventures back in the day.
The two people talking many DIY fanzines and literary journals happened.
They did.
And here's two people talking about their experience making these particular ones.
It's kind of a, that was the thing, like, I guess it was just pre-internet. I guess that's the big thing, because so much energy just ended up going to the internet, and like websites and stuff like that.
Right.
That's where a lot of the creativity ended up going, because it was so much easier to make something cool and in color and have it be digital,
and easier to share and help people to see it.
Yeah.
But before then, you had to go paper. And paper was very
oh my God,
all of its complications and drama and challenges. And
carrying a box of those things, and then bring them back, and then staple them. You had to have that long stapler, not necessarily the long. Oh, look, here's the
long neck stapler.
The long neck stapler, and the very strong stapler too. So here's
beautiful.
Here's the scan of the original art that I did for vote yes, 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 no. It was very positive, trying to be very positive. Like the no was
Were we near like a big election? 88?
Could be.
Sure.
Somehow these things bring, I don't know why, but it's like it brings together somehow something about like, Prince and Alphabet Street or something. Seems
the art direction, the colors.
Yeah, somehow that means something to me. Like he would mess around with words in a certain way too. But that was really fun.
It's great.
And it was great to like wander through things and look at these old wonderful things and think about people we haven't reached out to or had contact with in a while.
Yes, who really we all shared from our hearts.
Yeah, we did.
To be perfectly gooey about it, we really shared from our hearts.
Yeah. So, all right. So I guess it's time to close it up. We'd like to thank Donald, in the memory of Donald Shatchett. He is passed away a while ago, and opted. He is one of the biggest supporters of the museum, and he's definitely a sponsor of the show. Also at the museum, we thank the Applied Development Company. We have a really great space here that is donated to us or leased to us at a very inexpensive rate for many years, thanks to the support of the Applied Development Company. And coming up on Sunday, we've got we're gonna have a limited audience in the museum itself, and we're going to be doing a live stream just like this. Historian Lindsay Swindle is going to be talking about African American spirituals Sunday at 4. So look for us online and where exactly where you're seeing us right now, and it should be happening. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Next week we have Greg Aquila. He's a board member here at the museum. He is a developer, and he's also kind of a big driving force behind the Hoboken Business Alliance. So he's
HBA.
HBA, yeah. So like the streeteries and the slow streets, and
And all of the promotions in stores where you get your passport stamp.
That's
from
right.
God
Yep,
bless
all
him.
that stuff. So he loves Hoboken, and you can tell it when you talk to him that he does. So Bob is going to talk to him, and then the week next Thursday after that is Maria Lara, who was an educator. She's involved, and she used to be here at the museum, and she is working with True Mentors right now. So she's very involved in helping out the the BIPOC community, young, getting involved in education stuff. So it should be a great conversation. What else is up here? Oh, up here in the upper gallery where we're sitting right now is the Hidden Faces of Hoboken from McKevin. It's a great exhibit about all the Macaroons that are around
That's
Hoboken.
how you pronounce it?
I don't know for sure. There's a C in there that might not be silent. It might be mascarone.
That sounds like a cheese.
It does. So I don't know. But all these great, there's a contest going on. Somebody's already won first prize for the contest to find the 6 faces.
My.
But that
Wow.
doesn't, the second and third prizes are still available. Come to the museum and check out this exhibit. It's cool. And learn more about, if you watch the live stream with Bob and McKevin, you can learn more just from where you're watching right now. You can learn about not only the exhibit, but about the contest. You can come to the museum and come up here and look at the exhibit, and there's a contest. It's really cool to see all the faces. And McKevin, you can tell that McKevin's he's a great designer, and he has a lot of passion for this.
Labor of love.
Yeah. And what else? That's us. We are the Hoboken Historical Museum. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming by and saying hello. And Lois, thank you so much.
Allowing us to go down memory lane. Share
the people who slept on mattresses on the floor.
Fanzine stuff. Yeah, with cockroaches and mice and.
Yep. And we will see you all again soon. Thank you very much.